Hi everyone, I'm Suzanne Goulden, Intentional Living Consultant. Thanks for joining me today. Today, as part of my intentional relationships theme, I'm talking about zero waste e-cards and versus the handwritten touch for the handwritten letter, and when each of these may apply. For years now, I have saved huge in both money and time by using eCards most of the time. eCards, there's several sites that offer these that you can email out to people or post to Facebook. I use bluemountain.com, and I've used that site for years, but there's several to choose from, so shop around. And I have said for a long time that I haven't bought, birthday cards and Christmas cards and that for a long time, because I find that one of two things happens. One, these cards are getting very expensive. So you're spending, $5 to $10, sometimes more, on a card, and you give it to somebody, they appreciate it, sure, absolutely. And after a little time, it's either, $5, $10 or more that goes into the garbage, or they feel obligated to keep it. Some people are very sentimental about their cards, but it goes into a drawer, it goes into some sort of storage space. It doesn't stay out on display. And I eventually kind of thought that through and thought, it's really a waste of money to be spending on these cards all the time. I will say that there's a caveat that there are times that I think it is fine and that I do send these cards, and I will talk about that. But for the most part, I find e-cards create the same kind of sentiment, right? You've sent a message, they've received the message. You can personalize the e-cards. E-cards can be beautiful, they can be funny, you can have interactive games with them, which is, just gives them that little bit of added bonus. But they're also environmentally friendly. You don't have the paper, you don't have the waste. They kind of fall into the zero waste living very, very well. And that's one of the things that I probably appreciate most about them. Of course, there are times when, that I do promote sending the handwritten card. One of those times is I usually find sympathy cards. You can get sympathy e-cards, and if that's something that sits right with you, that's great. I'm not too sure exactly what it is that for some reason the sympathy e-card just doesn't quite sit with me. I don't know if it's just the more personal touch or what it is about sending a handwritten card at that time. Just seems to sit better with me for that purpose. And the other time I send something handwritten is just because. For that, just because I'm just thinking about you, I find it means so much more to do a handwritten letter or a thinking of you card when it's not someone's birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Mother's Day, special occasion. I find it just means so much more when you kind of put a little effort in to show somebody that you've thought of them, you've taken the time to handwrite something or to send it, snail mail to them. It just carries a little bit extra weight. When you think about what ends up in our mailboxes every day, it's flyers and bills, it's people just asking for money, needing money, money is due. It doesn't feel very good to go to the mail. So when you get something personal in the mail from somebody who's taken the time to handwrite something, to go to the post office or buy a stamp, to actually mail it out to you, it really speaks volumes nowadays to have that done. So I find that I will send a handwritten note or card when I'm being intentional and want to kind of express something a little bit more, a little bit deeper via, a handwritten letter or a handwritten card in that way. And I also think a thank you card, is quite nice to receive if you're, thanking someone that they've done something for you, they've gone out of your way. It's nice to get a handwritten card. So there's certain situations, and this is just me personally, I'm not advising anybody. I'm just, I just share my ideas and I share kind of how I do things in my life. And then, I hope that maybe I spark some ideas for other people and that you kind of put your own spin on, what I'm sharing and just maybe get inspired to reach out a little bit to somebody. And just because eCard can also carry that same kind of sentiment, and if you're paying for the subscription, you might as well use it. So I just think that being intentional about when we use an e-card, when we use a written card, you have to ask yourself, does this situation, which one feels better in this situation or that situation? Do I feel better about, being kinder to the earth right now? Or does this by, not using paper? Or does this situation feel like maybe, no, I need to send somebody something handwritten that is a little bit closer to the heart? So, so think it through and see what sits right with you. But if you haven't heard of eCards or you haven't used eCards, I mean, they've been around for a long time. I think most people are probably familiar with them. But, it certainly is something interesting to seek out and check out. And they're just fun. And they're certainly earth friendly. So, add that in to your ideas. I mean, I've noticed lots and lots of people, we don't even bother, sending Christmas cards anymore. It's kind of become something of the past, I think, or certainly don't get as many of them, but it's still nice to send something out. So, I always send e-cards at Christmas time. Plus, there's so many cards at that time. There's so many that you go out, like if you're sending one, you're sending, several. So I just find it's quite a savings, both in paper and in stamps and time and whatnot to utilize e-cards during the holiday season. But like I say, if it's whatever feels right for you, but it's just ideas to explore. That's all. I'm trying to plant some seeds here and see, what feels right to you. So if you have any questions about that, or you want to, just chat some thoughts on, when that could work for you, I'm more than happy to chat with you about that. Just visit my website in the link below, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about, this or any other kind of intentional living questions you might have. That's what I'm here for, is to help you brainstorm, solve some problems, simplify your life and, reduce some stress. All right. Have a great day.